There's so many flavors.
This week is our final Swiss vlog, and we're spending it in Zurich, Switzerland. We enjoyed traditional Swiss chocolate from a handmade chocolatier and finished off the day exploring the Lindt chocolate factory. My cold at this point of the trip has gotten worse, but I was determined to not let this cold impede the opportunity to have some of the world's best chocolate. Watch our last video from Grindelwald, where we ziplined at over 50 miles per hour to hear more about why I'm sick. Thankfully for us, Zurich has luggage lockers like what we used when we visited Jungfraujoch, top of Europe. Our Airbnb check-in was later in the day, so this saved us from quite the hassle. These lockers seem a bit more high-tech than the older Jungfrau lockers. After stowing our luggage, we exited the most impressive train station we saw in all of Switzerland in search of some scrumptious chocolate. The stunning Limmat River cuts through the middle of Zurich. We walked through beautiful cobblestone streets alongside lovely traditional buildings right on the riverside. Next to St. Peter's Church was the Chocolate Holy Land, Max Chocolatier. Their website describes their chocolate as bespoke and handmade with no additives or preservatives. When we walked in, we expected to be surrounded by really special chocolate, but we were blown away by how special the staff are too. We were given an impromptu chocolate tasting where we tried all sorts of chocolates while learning about them. It was stunning how much the chocolates picked up the flavors from where they were grown.
There's so many flavors. I've never had that in chocolate, just pure chocolate.
Typically, when someone starts explaining notes in coffee or wine, I can never taste it. But this chocolate honestly tasted like the notes of their descriptions. Especially the really smoky Java, 64% dark, which is grown near a volcano.
So this is the Java.
Wow.
It's so tasty. 64% dark chocolate.
You really get that smoky.
Yes. At the very end.
Each chocolate had its own fascinating, distinct taste. You can also really tell how the quality of milk used makes an exceptional difference to the taste of the chocolate. We learned at Max that the machines in industrial chocolate making throw in a bunch of additives and preservatives which obscure the true chocolate flavor. And it was obvious just how special the handmade chocolates at Max are when having them. If you know me, you know my obsession with hot chocolate. Last Vlogmas, we did a hot chocolate showdown in Austin. So during our Swiss chocolate journey so far, I have been on the hunt for the ultimate hot chocolate. Switzerland prides itself on both its dairy and its chocolate, so I figured I should be able to get something really special. But it was only at Max where hot chocolate was made with fresh chocolate instead of a dried cocoa powder. And once again, the difference was unbelievable. Dante even claimed it was better than my homemade hot chocolate.
Oh my gosh, it's spectacular.
Not too sweet, chocolatey taste.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The milk, oh my gosh. Yeah, this is the best one so far.
That's incredible.
This definitely gives a run for my own homemade chocolate.
I might even say it's as good or better.
Yeah.
You can do an even longer chocolate tasting than we got to enjoy at Max with a party of at least 4 people for the cost of 75 Swiss francs per person. It was really sweet of Marlene at Max to give us a chocolate tasting and even make hot chocolate for us. Shout out to Fiore, MA5. You can find her on Instagram. Max was definitely a highlight of our trip, and I can't recommend it strongly enough. We concluded our visit to Max by sipping our hot chocolate by the church just outside. Later that day, we tried to do some light shopping around town. We popped into a cute boutique with lots of handmade items that were perfect souvenirs. There's a lot to see and enjoy in Zurich, but I had to take frequent breaks because of my cold. To wrap up our chocolate adventures, we took a short local train out to Kilchberg to visit Lindt's home of chocolate factory. There's a 10 to 15 minute walk from the train station to the start of the tour, so be aware of that. The tour costs 17 francs per person. But upon walking in, you're greeted by the giant Lindt chocolate fountain. That's enough to cheer up anyone's mood. I was quite tempted to have an Augustus Gloop moment.
Please, I beg you, Augustus!
We headed over to pick up our audio tour devices, which allow you to choose one of many different languages. As you walk from room to room, the audio device tells you about the history of chocolate and Lindt. The sets are really cutely designed, and this would be a great experience for a chocolate-loving family. About midway through the tour, you learn the differences between dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and white chocolate. This is the first part where you can sample chocolate along the tour. They have continuously flowing chocolate that you can put on your spoon and sample. After this room, they have a chocolate making conveyor belt, which shows the full process. And of course, another free sample afterwards. This time, it's a square of chocolate. The final room has some great photo opportunities with a giant Lindt truffle. The staff give you several different flavored Lindt truffles. We had a large handful of all the different flavors Lindt has to offer. You can really get your money's worth with all of the chocolate sampling opportunities. Looking back, while Lindt's tour was cute, Max Chocolatier really stood out as an amazing experience. I think that Lindt would have been more exciting for Dante and I if we both hadn't visited chocolate factories before to learn how it is made. Unfortunately for me, I was worn out after all of these chocolate tours, so I spent the rest of my time in Zurich resting in our Airbnb. This concludes our Switzerland trip. We took a long train ride all the way back to Geneva the next morning and flew home to Austin. I really appreciate all the support for our first series on this channel. Please make sure you subscribe to get notified of our next adventure.